Good morning, church. I wanted to share with you something that I saw on Instagram a couple of days back. It was a post and it said this. It said, our kids won't remember much about the effects of the virus, so talking about socially or economically, politically, etc. But they will remember how home felt while the world was freaking out. And for me, that really was a stark reminder that more so now in this uncharted territory of social distancing that we're finding ourselves in as family, that there are little eyes and maybe actually bigger eyes that are watching us. See, as adults, we need to protect our peace and to create a safe place at home. And whether we like it or not, during this time of uncertainty, we are actually called to lead ourselves, to lead our families, and to lead even our friends. And we may not be able to control what is going on in the world throughout this crazy time, but we absolutely can control the atmosphere and the spiritual temperature in our homes. In other words, how we respond to our children, to our families, and our friends. We need to be aware that whether consciously or subconsciously, our children are actually watching us and how we handle this current situation. And their minds are most likely asking the question, what if? What if it's not going to be okay? And whether they like to admit it or not, they're actually feeling worried, scared, anxious, and probably very uncertain about the future. Their worlds have been turned around in a matter of actual days. And from life as they knew it, from the routine of school and socializing in school, to sports, to homework, even down to the small things like a consistent bedtime. Now they're thrown into a world of social distancing and actually in some cases even quarantine. And it's something as adults we've never actually had to deal with before. And so imagine how they're feeling as children. And I've realized over the last few days that everyone, including myself, is processing at a different speed and in different ways. Maybe in your home, your kids' behaviors have changed, or maybe even some adults' behaviors have changed. They might be more agitated or angry, more so than usual, and maybe they're tearful, they're having crazy spurts of energy, bouncing off the walls for a while, and then maybe even retreating back into confinement in their bedrooms. They may be spending more time sleeping than ever before, just out of pure boredom. And as a parent or an adult, you actually may be struggling, trying to keep everything at home in balance, including working from home now. All of this while everyone's in very close quarters. The one thing I know is that if we as adults are struggling to work through our worries, how much more so are our kids struggling with that same worry? And so I want to remind us today about the importance of protecting your peace. How do we do that? I think the first thing that we need to remember is to use wisdom, and so not to react in a situation, but rather to lead through it. And here's what the Bible tells us in James 3 and verse 17. It says, "But the wisdom from above is first pure and then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere." See, it's with wisdom that we can bring that peace of God, that gentleness and that reason of mercy and goodness into every situation that we are in. And imagine being able to model that to our children and set them up for success in their future. The other way that we can do it is to get stuck in the Word. You know, we have such a wonderful opportunity right now in this crazy time that we're living in as at home and social distancing, to find a new love for our Bibles and even to impart that love to our children through telling them the stories that are in the Bible. The other thing we can do is to pray. Pray for our spouses and our children and our friends and our family for peace and for wisdom through this crazy situation. So I want to remind you today, remember, church, whatever situation you find yourself in, your children are watching you and they are learning from you, and they're going to remember what home felt like, what your reactions were, your support, your love and your care or your lack thereof, and yes, even your disciplining too. So church, make this time count. We love you. We'll see you on Sunday for Church Online at 10 a.m.